What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's Genevieve here, and today we are doing a suburban speed build. So today I decided to create a suburban home in the Sims 4 world, and it's just something that I've never done before, and I just felt like it was something it would be a challenge, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I just previously completed a tiny modern home, so I thought I'd do something completely different and start a suburban home. So it is a very small home, but it has all the necessities that your Sims need. And yeah, I just love the way this build came out, and I really hope you guys love this build too. So yeah, so now we're just starting with the exterior of this build. It is very small, and I did create it with 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So the family that I picture living here would be a mother and a father, and then 2 kids. So they share the same room. So yeah, I designed it for a boy and a girl. So their room, it's like split in half. So her side is very pink, and then his side is very red. But yeah, so perfect for a family of 4. And then you can add pets in here as well if you have that expansion pack, and you can just find space for that as well. So now we're just completing the exterior of this home. It was a really fun build. It's just something, like I mentioned, something that I'm not used to doing, so it was really fun just to add in new objects that I really use. And yeah, so now we're just doing the roofing of this home and just messing around with the windows and just creating the shape of this build in general. I did want to make it as big as possible just to make sure it's not as crammed, and yeah. So yeah, so now we're just finishing with the roofing, and then I did add the white shelves on the exterior of this home just to give it more that suburban look. And then at the outside there is a lot of greenery, and there's a fence that goes around the whole entire build. I just feel like if you think of a suburban home, they generally, I wouldn't say don't look after the garden, but there's a lot of greenery that goes around the build, so I definitely wanted to incorporate that in this build. And yeah, so I'm very excited to share this build with you guys. I really hope you enjoy it. Basically what I love to do on my channel is obviously experiment and do things that I don't necessarily do. And then if you are interested in seeing like recreations of homes in certain movies that you've seen or TV shows, I definitely love to put myself to the test on that. So I have previously created Paradise Palms from Fortnite, and I created the Powerpuff Girls series, created the Friends Apartments, Mad Hatt's Home. So I generally go about those challenges on my YouTube channel. So yeah, so now we're just finishing we're starting the landscaping of this home. Because there is a lot of space around this home, I did not know what to do, so I was just fiddling around with the spray terrain tool. And then I did add a pond on this side just to make it more natural and more realistic. But yeah, so now we're just adding the pond, and then I'm going to put a bunch of rocks around it just to make it look natural. I know it doesn't, but just to act like it was there, and then they built their home around the pond. I don't know. So I wanted to also add a fountain feature, just like raise the terrain and put like fountains coming out of the terrain, but that wasn't working very well. So I deleted that, and I just put a small fountain feature on the side, which I think looks really cute. And then we are going to do fencing, so I am going to move the pond a little bit to the walkway, just a bit closer, because half of the rocks were sticking out of the fence. So yeah, so now we finish the pond, and then we add in a pathway that goes right around the home. But yeah, so now we're just creating the landscaping, just putting a whole bunch of plants all around the home, just to add that greenery feel and just to make it look a bit messy. But yeah, I think it suits the whole suburban feel very well. And yeah, so the inside of this home, I would say it's a bit modern, but it's more cozy than modern, if that makes sense. So it's very, very brown and doesn't have much of clutter, but it is perfect for a family of 4, and there's enough room for everyone to get around the home, so it's not too tiny and not too cramped. So yeah, so now we're just finishing the exterior and just putting a whole bunch of plants everywhere. You're going to see that, and then we're going to move on to the interior. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, that would be I would really appreciate that. And yeah, today it's a Saturday in South Africa and it's cold. It's winter now, and yeah, it's just getting into that winter feeling is very hectic and everybody's getting sick with the flu, and yeah, it's not the greatest, but but I hope it's warm wherever you guys are if you are watching this. And yeah, so now we just finished with the fencing, and I just added 2 fences in the front, or 2 gates, and now we just carrying on with the landscaping on the side of the home. I did not know what to do around the home, so I just added a whole bunch of plants just to give it, as I mentioned multiple times, that greenery feel. And yeah, so we just placed a whole bunch of plants everywhere, made a walkway, and then I did add a fountain at the back of the home as well. But yeah, so now we're just carrying on with the landscaping. I really love the windows of this home. I think it just gives it that suburban feel, and it just makes your home look so cozy. And even you don't even have to have children that live here. If you want to change it up in your own way, you're more than welcome to. Obviously this build will be in the Sims gallery, so you're more than welcome to go download it there and add it into your game. I think it's on a 20 by 15 lot in Newcrest. I'm not too sure of the area, but I'm sure it's a 20 by 15 lot, so it's not very big. And yeah, my details will be in the description box. My username for the Origin store or the Sims gallery is Genevieve007. So you're more than welcome to go check out my other builds as well if you want to incorporate any of them into your game. So yeah, so now we're almost finished with the landscaping finally. It took me a bit of time, but we almost finished, and then we're going to move on to the interior. So I did start off with the kitchen, and I just love the inside of this home. It is just very cozy and very homely, so I really love that feel that this home gives you. So yeah, so now we're just adding a few shrubs on the back there, and we are almost done with the landscaping. So I did want to add these awnings to the front and the side of the homes, but the front it didn't look too great, so I removed that and I added them to the 2 side windows. I think it just looks very, very cozy and very homely. So now I'm just moving all the rocks to fit into the section, because half of them are sticking out of the fence, because obviously I don't think before I build, so I decided to do a fence after everything was done. Typical. So yeah, so this build I did completely different to how I'm used to. Normally I work like, I don't do the exterior completely. I sometimes do the exterior, like just the outside of the walls, and then I start on the inside, and then I finish the exterior afterwards. So today I decided to just complete the entire exterior before moving on to the interior, and I thought it was quite a challenge because I'm not used to doing that, but I think it actually works so much better just to get the feel of the home first on the outside, and then you know what you're going to do on the inside. So I think I'll start doing that more often, because sometimes in my videos I'm literally all over the place. So yeah, so now we're starting off in the kitchen. So I decided to make the kitchen very brown, but then I decided it's not really like a cottage, and I don't want it to make it like a cottage feeling home, so I changed the kitchen to blue, and then we just added a few curtains, and then obviously a whole bunch of clutter where I used the red shelf. You'll see that in a second. So the red shelf, as I've mentioned in probably all my videos, it's a CC item that you can download, and it goes into the decorations tab in the build and buy section, and then you can just raise the red shelf, that's what I'm using right now, to the height of your counters or whatever, and you just add a whole bunch of cluttered items to that shelf, and then you move away the objects for the decorative items to not stick. And then once that is done, you can just place your items where you want them to be. So if you're really into clutter, I suggest you do download this red shelf just to add a whole bunch of things everywhere and anywhere possible. It's also nice for when you descale like side tables and dining tables or coffee tables. The objects tend to float when you put them on, that they don't stick to the tables if you downsize anything. So the red shelf also helps with that, and you can't even use the 0 key to lower it, which is quite annoying, but the red shelf is perfect for that. So yeah, so this is basically what the kitchen is going to look like. It is very small, very plain and simple. just with a lot of clutter, and it just feels like a family home. And now we're going on to the dining room. So I did decide to use a round table in this area and then just put 5 chairs around it, so if guests come over, at least there's more than enough space for them to sit and eat. And yeah, so this dining room is also going to be a bit blue, and then I just love the brown look of the chairs and the dining table all together. So now I'm just filling the space up here, so I'm going to add a small like walkway table, if you want to say, and just put the kids' school bags underneath it and just add a whole bunch of clutter in this area. So yeah, and then so as I mentioned, this house has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Bathroom is very small. It only has a shower and then a toilet, so there's no bath or anything of that. If you would like to change it up, as I mentioned, you're more than welcome to do that and make the bathroom a bit bigger if you can. I don't really see any room for that, but yeah, so now we're going to move on to the lounge. So the lounge is also, I just love the blue look when you look at homes and everything is just blue of different colors, or like the different blue types. So turquoisey, dark blue, light blue, those type of blues. I really love just incorporating that into the home. So yeah, so the lounge is very blue, and then I did downsize the coffee table just to give more space for the Sims to walk past. I always get scared that they're not going to be able to get in and out of an area because it's too small. I don't know why they can't wean themselves through it, but what can we do? So yeah, so now I'm just adding a TV table, if you would say, underneath the TV, and just adding a bunch of clutter, a few books. And now I'm just going to clutter the dining table a little bit, just adding a few iPads and Kitty's iPad for the children to play with. And yeah, so now we're going to just finish the walkway area. So I added like a few clothes racks, an umbrella stand, and just a carpet, and then a side table with a mirror, and then just more clutter on top of that. And then we're going to add a study as well. So I wanted to make sure there was a computer in this home for kids to do their homework if they need it, and for the parents to just get away from the world and just focus on their work if they have to, if they can't finish their work at work. So yeah, so now we're just finishing with the study room. As you can see also, if you don't have the red shelf, you can place all the objects on the table itself or the surface and move it away, and then hold Alt and drag the products, and then they will remain at that height. So you can also do that if you do not have the red shelf from the CC section. So yeah, so now we're moving on to the bathroom. As I mentioned, it's very small. It's also very blue. So yeah. As you can see, I love to just stick with that blue color. Absolutely love it, and it just makes the rooms look so stunning. And I just feel like because the house is blue on the outside, it should represent that on the inside. So I just stuck with that color scheme as well. So yeah, the bathroom is very small, not much clutter in there, which I feel sometimes you can do with less clutter instead of more, because everything just looks so messy. But anyway, so now we're moving on to the children's room. So as I mentioned, I created this home for a girl and a boy. So they share a room and it's split in half. So the girl's side is very, very pink, and then the boy's side is very red. I just love those beds that they added to the Sims for the kids. It just looks so awesome, and it definitely creates that kid vibe room, or that kid vibe feel. I don't know if I can talk today. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah, so I just added a few shelves as well and put a few reading books on top, so it looks like they love story time, so the parents can always read them a book to make them fall asleep. And then we just added a whole bunch of toys and some decor on the walls just to finish that kids' room. So yeah, so the wallpaper is also very vibrant. I wasn't sure if I was happy with it because it's so bright, but you know what, it's a kid's room and it's supposed to be bright, well, I would think. So yeah, so half is going to be pink, as you can see, and then the rest is red and orange. And now we're moving on to the parents' room. So their room is very small, so they don't really have much in here. They have 2 lamps on the side of their bed. I don't have any side tables because they are really massive, so it's quite difficult to fit them in there. So I did 2 lamps and then a whole bunch of shelving and a lot of clutter on their dressing table. So yeah, so we're almost coming up to the end of this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this speed build. As I mentioned, if you have any ideas or opinions that you would like to provide, please can you comment in the section below. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.